Hello, I'm Jan Perrier from Perrier Design, and welcome to today's presentation about the Pages panel. We'll be exploring how you can put the many features of this panel to their best use. First, let's look at the type of pages you can have in InDesign. There are basically two types of pages, facing and non-facing. Non-facing, or single pages, as shown in the example in the Pages panel on the right, are pages that are by themselves and not touching. You would choose non-facing pages for creating any job that required single pages or something like a poster. Facing pages are set up like a book. There is a single page at the top and two pages that face each other throughout the document. A spread is two or more pages whose tops or sides are touching each other. It is possible to create spreads of 3 or more pages if necessary. Now let's look at how the Pages panel is constructed. There are multiple sections to the Pages panel, and please note that I've used the single page option for this part of the discussion. Later parts will be done with facing pages so that you can see how each one looks. The top section is where the master pages are. The top page is always a blank page. The next page is called a master, but you can go into the master page options and change that name to whatever you would like. The next section contains the pages that are in your document. This section will allow you to change the page size for a single page. In the last few versions of InDesign, they have been offering the option of having multiple page sizes in a document. You can click on the small page in the middle of the bottom of the panel to add pages, or the trash can to delete pages. Next, we'll look at subpanel options. You can access the subpanel by clicking the top left downward arrow of the panel. This first section allows you to insert and move pages, duplicate a spread, or delete a spread. The next section is about the master pages. Here's how you can control how master pages will affect your document. You can use an alternate layout when you need different page sizes for print or digital publishing within the same document. Numbering and section options allow you to manually set up your page numbers and sections in a document. You might use this in a book. An example would be that many, but not all, books don't begin page numbering on the very first page of the document. They will have preliminary pages like a title and copyright dedications, then maybe the table of contents and the introduction. After that, they will begin the first chapter with page 1. If you were hoping to create a document like this, you could use these options to decide how the pages were numbered and where a certain numbering would begin. Allow document pages to shuffle and allow selected spread to shuffle will be demonstrated in a later part of this video. But basically, it just allows you to control how you will move your pages around within the pages within the Pages panel. Page Attributes offers you a variety of options as to how your page is displayed and the transitions that could be used for an interactive document. There's more information on these features in the Help menu. The last category will give you options for how your Pages panel is laid out. Exploring the different options in this panel will help you to understand how all these features work. Now we're going to talk about master pages and how we can use them in our documents.
So now I'm going to show you how to work with master pages in InDesign. So first we'll look up at the master page area of our Pages panel. You'll notice that at the very top you've got a blank page. What that is that it's called none, but it's always just a blank page. Then we can go to our A master, Every document you start is going to be set up this way. Now, if you have facing pages, you'll always have 2 pages in your A master. If you have single pages, you'll only have 1. So by double-clicking on the master page, I've gone to the actual master pages. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a colored block. And I'm going to make it magenta. And I'm going to do another colored block on the next page. And I'm also going to make that magenta. Now what you notice, all these pages have an A on it. And when I hover over it, it says A Master Applied. So whatever I've put on these pages is going to automatically be on all my other pages. Now what you'll notice though, if I drag and click on them, oh how frustrating, I can't do anything to them. The way that I can change that, if I want to change one of those blocks, is if I hold down my Command and my Shift key and click on it. What I've done is I've now done what is called an override. Now overrides are, you can do an override in InDesign, you can do, in a style sheet, you can do them on master pages. But the thing to remember about overrides is overrides only change the portion. Like right now I'll change the color. I've released that block from the master page, but all that I've changed is the color. So just remember that for now. That's the only thing that I've done to that. I haven't changed the position of it, I haven't changed the shape, I haven't done anything else to it. All that I've changed is the color. So just bear that in mind. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new master. And this master is automatically called B. The name is master. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to base it on A master. I'm going to keep the number of pages. I could change the page size. I could do all kinds of things to this, but I'm not going to for right now. So let's just say okay to that. Now you'll notice that with B master, and I'm on B master right now, if I double click on it, you'll see that there's a letter A in here. The letter A is there because B master is based on the A master page. So right now, when I go to click on this, as you can see, I can't change those boxes. They're locked. How I would change them, if I wanted to, which I do, I'm going to do an override. So again, I'm going to hold down my Command and my Shift key, and I'm going to click. And I'm going to hold down my Command and Shift key, and I'm going to click on the other box. Now these boxes are released from that master page. And I'm going to change them to a different color. I'm going to change them to blue. So now I've got 2 master pages. I've got, basically 4, but let's think of them as individuals. I've got A master and I've got B master. So now I'm going to go to one of my B master pages and I'm going to drag it onto one of these pages. Now I'm going to show you something. Even though I'm dragging with the left-hand page, if I drag it onto a right-hand page, it will still see it as the right-hand page. That's because we set up our document with facing pages. So it always sees it just like a book, a left and a right-hand page. So that's great. Now we've got a second master page. Now let's do one more master page. I'm going to call it New Master, and instead of letting it the prefix be C, I'm going to change it to D, and I'm going to change the name to My Design, and I'm going to base it on None. I could base it on either one of these if I want now, but I'm going to base it on None. And I'm going to say OK to that. So now that I've done that, what I get is a blank page because it's not based on any other pages. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of shapes on there. I'm going to put on this shape, a circle or an oval, and I'm going to make it green. And I'm going to make another shape on here. And I'm going to make this one green too. So there it is. So now I can drag these master pages onto my document. And you can see how I can change things very, very easily. I can change things. Let's say I want a blank page. I can just drag a blank page on wherever I want. So this is how you can use different master pages. Now let's go back to our A master and let's just try moving these blocks. And what you're going to notice right away when you look back into your document window, wow, this has changed. Not only has this changed A master, But because B master is based on A master, it's changing the position, even though these elements have got overrides on them. The only thing I changed in the override was I changed the color, but I didn't change the position, and that's why the position is staying with whatever the A master does. A is the master. It is the one that says how things will move at this point. But let's say I go to this block that was also based on A master. Now I've changed the size and I've changed the position of it. So let's see what happens now when I go to this A master and I start moving things around. Now you'll see that it didn't do anything to page 1 because now this block has really been completely disconnected. It's a different color. I changed the color, I changed the location, and now it's not really linked to the A master anymore. It's pretty much an independent object. But everything else has changed to reflect those same changes. So that's the basics of the Pages panel. I'm just going to show you one more thing here before we go away from this. And this is allow document pages to shuffle. Now right now this is turned on. What that means is that if I move a page around, let's say I move this page up here, it's going to allow all the pages to shuffle just like a deck of cards. It's going to allow them to move ahead. If I try and put one page beside the other, like to create a 3-page spread, it won't let me. But if I turn this off, so what I did there was I just turned off allow document pages to shuffle. Now when I go into my document, I get the option of being able to put a page beside another page. And I can change the order of my pages now, and it's not automatically going to shuffle everything forward. So this is how you can create spreads. So remember, doing that is allow document pages to shuffle. And there's also a command under there, allow selected spread to shuffle. So you can play with those at your leisure. But this is now I've gone back to pages shuffling again because I turned that back on. So I'm just going to turn that off. So that's a brief demonstration of master pages, shuffling pages, and how that works.
So let's review some of what we've learned today. Why should you use master pages? What's the difference between facing and non-facing pages? What is an override? Do you remember? There's different places that they use overrides in InDesign. Can you think of the different places where they use them? What happens when you base one master page on another? How can you tell which master page is being used on a document page? Thanks for tuning into this video. Please go to www.perrierdesign.com to see our blog videos and get more information about our services.